When the sun falls, I bet I'll rise up. You say you swinging in the streets, homie, put your ride up. I be in the late night, different from the coppers. The birds out, buddy, but that ain't the only chopper. I'm finna cop a Elko and name her Cindy Lauper. A renegade, don't wanna be tamed, you know you can't stop us. Leather on the seat with the custom moon roof. Pop up the hood, that's a LS.
Man, so we're back again.
Yep.
It's been a crazy 2 years, bro. For the player and you dropped around the same time last year, bro, and we're back again. You know, you're approaching a new project, a new album, and a new season, bro. How's it feel?
It feels good. It feels great. Yep.
Man, so tell me about the momentum. I mean, I feel like we've been kicking it and talking for a bit. I've heard the album. It's wild. You know what I mean? Explain the vibe that you're in. Like, everything seems to be coming together for you.
The vibe I'm in is really based off of the city I'm in. You know, it's very California. That's the vibe I'm on and been on. But yeah, this album is like a soundtrack to the whole coast.
Bro, that's crazy. Like, before we start getting into the album, though, kind of explain the culture. I mean, it's cool because I'm from Maryland, and I came here, and there's a whole bunch of opportunity, and I love Los Angeles. You know what I mean? It's like my new home. Yeah. But for people who are from here and are kind of like, they embody it from the ground up. Like, what does that look like in comparison?
Well, one of the biggest things, you know, and that I'm a part of is, you know, the car culture. There's a gang culture here. There's a car culture. There's an art culture. There's a surf culture. There's a skateboard culture. You know what I'm saying? So I'm part of the car club culture, and that's what this album is about, and kind of is a backdrop for, you know, and yeah, that's what it is.
What got you involved in the car culture? I mean, there's so many different places you can be at.
I've always liked cars, you know. I've always liked nice cars. Some of my family members I grew up with family members having nice cars, multiple cars, and you know, I always just I appreciated cars for a long time.
Dog, and you pulled up today in what?
I pulled up with my boy Matt in the Mercedes 250.
Come on.
Like a 67 or something like that.
That shit, I mean, bro, you can't do it better than that, bro. I mean, I don't have that kind of background, but what you're doing in music, providing the soundtrack to that culture, you're kind of bringing it alive. How does that feel to put like?
The thing is, it's already alive.
Okay.
It's just to the masses maybe, or people that are maybe in different states, they don't get to see it all the time, or it's not displayed by the faces that you might see in the city. You know, so
right.
I'm one of those faces that's gonna let you know, like, hey, we like cars out here, you know, and this is the type of cars we drive. This is what we do. This is what we listen to when we're in these cars. Yeah.
Is it hard to compete with popular cultures in LA that they get mostly represented in the media today, or are you acting like totally parallel to that?
It's no competition. It's more so like, you know, does a pizza shop have competition with an ice cream store? No. You know
right.
what I'm saying? It's like, you make ice cream, you make pizza. So I do car music, and, you know, there's other people that make other type of music, you know?
That's what I admire most about you, bro. Like, you have a really cool way of sticking to what you know, sticking to what you do, regardless of what's moving on the outside perimeter of where your game is. You know what I mean? How do you get that poise? Like, where does that come from, that confidence?
I try to stick to what I'm best at. You know, the moment I try to be something that I'm not, I'm already lost. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to win at the game I'm good at. You know, I'm not good at golf, so I'm not going to challenge Tiger Woods. But I'm decent at basketball, so, you know, I'll take LeBron on. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel it, bro. I mean, so you're one of also those kind of artists who's also a producer. What you're good at is music first. Where does that come from?
The music first is because I'm a musician first. Being an artist and a rapper came later. I'm a musician first. Like, I was in, like I always say, I was in jazz band, marching band, all of that. So I wasn't even thinking about rapping or anything at that time. I was just thinking about getting good at playing drums and keys and stuff.
And why the keys?
I fell in love with them. The drums I've been playing for a long time, but then after a while, it's like that's something you can't play quietly. You can't put some headphones on it and zone in on that. And the keys, it's like I like coming up with melodies. So it's like you can only do so much on the drums, even though I love the drums to death. Yeah.
I think one of your biggest qualities is also adding that into your productions, no matter who you're working with, whether it's you, whether it's Dom, whether it's anybody that you've helped elevate the musicality of their production. How do you even navigate being both an artist and a producer?
It's honestly, it almost navigates itself a little bit. Before when before I had dropped any other projects as a producer, I noticed that, my destiny almost felt like it was in the hands of if this person's gonna like this beat, or is this person gonna actually use this song, or it kind of was looking like that. And then I had a lot of tracks, and some tracks I would play, and people they'd be like, "This is dope, but I don't know what to do with it." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that made me get like, "Man, get on it like this." And then I do a song to it, and then I play it to them later, and they're like, "Oh, let me get this." You know what I'm saying? Because they may not hear it like how I hear it, once I made it.
Right.
But at this point, it kind of navigates itself. It goes hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? Some people I meet with, they'll be like, "Man, I want something like what you did on your last album, like on this track, but I want something like that for me." But if I would have never took that route as an artist, there would be like lost communication.
Do you think it helps you as an artist and a producer being able to navigate both?
Oh yeah, it definitely does. Cause being a producer definitely gave me an advantage when it came to rapping, because it made me be able to coach myself like I would coach other people that rap. And then also being a rapper made me learn how to simplify the beats and not make them just so musical to where somebody can't rap on it. It's like, yo, somebody has to say some words on this. So, they worked hand in hand.
I mean, I know firsthand, like, this past year, or just in between the last time we spoke on camera, we did a project together. Yeah. The Work is a project that I did, and you helped. Yeah. You pretty much produced and engineered the entire thing. Okay. That was an amazing experience for me. And a lot of people think that producers are more like, the beat makers. Yeah. and things like that. But what I know from our experience is you're more of like a coach. Like when we're in the booth, it kind of feels like you're in there with me, and you kind of, embody the thing that the artist is trying to do. Yeah. How did you get those skills?
I got honestly out of necessity, working with people at all different levels. I've worked with people that are really good, and I've worked with people that aren't really good. But I've always tried to make sure that whatever we were doing that day sound decent, and also learning and watching some of the people that I was around growing up making music. I saw that's how it was made. It wasn't just made like, oh, you give me that beat, let me write a verse, get on it, there's the song. It was more so of a collaborated thing. Everybody in the room has an opinion, something to add.
What do you think is the key to making the best music? Is it that collaboration process?
I think the key to making the best music is stop doing it over the internet.
Ooh. Talk about it.
Stop sending people songs and here, put a verse on this. Like somehow get together. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people spend money on shoes and all types of other things. Spend money on a plane ticket and get in the studio with somebody if it's that worth it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think the key to making good music is get together with people and work on a song like Quincy Jones and Michael Jackson did. You know what I'm saying?
And do you think the internet is helping us or like hindering us in that regard?
It does both.
Okay.
At this rate, it's taking a lot from us, I would say. I would say it's definitely taken a lot. It's helped a lot of us get out there and reach and spread our wings, but then at the same time, it's kind of like adding water to it's adding fluff to the game.
And what are you bringing to the game with this new album?
Man, I'm bringing that G-Funk.
Come on, talk about it.
I'm bringing that funk.
So, do you want me to tell the album name, or you introduce the album the way that you?
It's American Muscle. American Muscle. You know what I'm saying? That's the name of the album, American Muscle, dropping July 8th.
So, what can we expect, man? What's new about what growth did you have between this album and For the Player and You?
Man, imagine somebody being in the gym for 2 years straight. What would you expect them to come out looking like? Right. That's what it expect me sounding like. I've been in the gym, which this is the gym, the studio. I've been here for 2 years working on it, on and off, not on and off, but just like living life and working on the songs. And I felt like that's what I needed. Ever since I dropped my first album, I always dropped one every year. So this was the first time that I was just like, let me let a little time go by and really learn something and really, focus in on it.
And bro, and it shows in the music. I mean, we've sat and listened to a bunch of the joints that's coming up on the album, and all of them are hits. What's your process in like putting an album together? What are you going for? Like, are you trying to take the listener on a journey? Are you trying to put them into your world? I mean, that's what kind of you encourage me to do as an artist. Like, how do you bring your fan base and your listeners into the Polyester world of G-Funk?
I think at this point where I'm at right now, I have a good idea of who's listening and why. Okay. So now I'm trying to give them something that makes them proud to listen, to be like, I listen to Polyester and you should too. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with it right now. Before I was like trying to, bring people into my world, which was their world too. And I didn't think that there was a voice for it. There wasn't a person that was making music that was like, yo, this is for the people that was riding Chevys and Mustangs and, Dodges and stuff, muscle cars. You know what I'm saying? Now at this point, I think people get it now. My first song I came out with was called The Elko. I was on that path then,
What have you been doing like in terms of like collaborations? Because I know that not only is this musically one of the most impactful projects that I've heard from you, but I mean you've been collaborating in the studio and outside the studio. Tell me a little bit about these collaborations. Yeah, man, what's going on?
I mean, very recently I've been working with Problem and DJ Quick on they dropped an EP called Rosecrans. Bro. And I worked on a song, the title song Rosecrans with DJ Quick and Problem, and that was a great experience. And then we've been doing more. I've worked with them some more, so there's more things that we've made. Yep.
And for so long, people have been comparing you to DJ Quick. What's it like to finally be in the studio with this guy? Man,
it's great. Like, it's just within about an hour of time, I learned 10 years worth of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Just being there. There's a couple things that he told me that blew my mind.
I mean, and you've accomplished already so much. And you still remain so humble. You know what I'm saying? You have a humility to learn, even though this is like the holy mecca of people to learn from, DJ Quick, but like a lot of people still can't get over their egos and sit down with somebody and really listen to absorbing 10 years worth of knowledge. How do you?
Man, I walked in there already feeling like, man, I'm in here with DJ Quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was always a Quick fan as a whole, because he was a producer, he's an artist, and then he's a well-respected engineer, mixer, and all that. You know what I'm saying? He's just not like, oh, let me say something on this song and you guys love me. He's like a real, he doesn't need nobody. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how I tried to model myself after, is that you could put me in any studio in the world and I don't need nobody to record me. I don't need nobody to play on it. I don't need nobody to mix it. I don't need nobody to master it. It's nice if I can get all that, but at the end of the day, I don't need any of that. You know what I'm saying? So, I always respected Quick for that.
How do you anticipate that being a part of your arsenal as you move into the future? Like as you grow with this album and where this album's gonna take you, being versatile, how important is that to you?
Man, it's real important, you know, because if all else fails and nobody wants to help me, I can always help myself. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. Man, we have so many resources in the internet age. You know what I mean? Like young artists, what do you think is the best way to put out an album these days?
Get it out. The best way is to just get it out. Like, there's a lot of people that work on albums or say they working on albums and trying to, oh, I need a club banger and all this stuff. Like, man, just get it out. That's the best way. Get it out, put it on. All the tools are there, and don't worry about the numbers. Like, it being out in the world is better than it not being out. You know what I'm saying? Or it being out and having 100 views is better than it sitting on your computer, you know what I'm saying, and nobody sees it, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't know that 100 people could be the right 100 people to turn into 1 million, or you could have 1 million views and none of those people care nothing about what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? So I just say get it out. There's YouTube, there's SoundCloud, there's, you know, a bunch of these things.
And what do you think holds people back from putting projects out the most?
Numbers.
Numbers?
Yep. They look at other people's numbers and they're like, man, he's doing 1 million this or he's doing that. I don't want to put mine up, and it's not doing that, which is so crazy because everybody we grew up loving, there was no numbers for you to judge if you were going to like them or not. You just liked them if it was hot, you know what I'm saying? And they didn't base their art only in this time that we live in. Do artists have to deal with the pressure of some number on a computer screen telling them if they're dope or not? You know what I'm saying? All the people that we watch grow up to be megastars, they use their heart to decide if they were gonna pop or do whatever they was gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So don't look at the numbers.
And you still embody that, you know, following your heart, navigating through this whole sphere,
Man,
knowing that the numbers
that's how everybody got here. That's how beyond music, that's how every native navigated with their mind and their heart. You know what I'm saying? We need to go that way. It's getting cold. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what's over there, but it's getting too cold over here. We need to go there. They didn't have no numbers or charts or nothing like that. They looked at the stars and kept moving. That's what I'm doing.
And you're the weatherman for that.
Yeah.
What's the forecast looking like for Polyester the Saint the next 6 months?
The forecast is looking crease, man. That's, you know, it's always been looking crease. Couple light showers, but, you know, we're going to wipe them out. We got a nice little breeze coming through, you know what I'm saying? That's it.
So what's the biggest storm you faced from the time that you released the last album to now?
Man, a few of them, you know. A few of them. A friend of mine passed away, Chris Garcia. That really was bothered me because that was like a good friend of mine in high school. Some of you guys know him as Gark or whatever. I don't know him as that. I know him as Chris Garcia. Man, friends, you know what I'm saying? Or really learning myself with friends, learning that sometimes your friends might do things that, you know, bother you. But sometimes it's your fault because you know that those are the things they do. And you put up with them because you're like, this is my friend. But at a certain point, it has to be like, yo, that's always going to bother you that they do that. So it's your fault if you want to be around them. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the biggest lessons I've had to learn, you know.
And that's so real, bro. I mean, because the people that you have in your circle are definitely going to be the ones who dictate whether you sink or swim, you know? Like, who's on your bus is going to dictate, like, how fast it goes and in which direction. Right. Talk about your team. Like, who are some important role players, artist-wise, whoever?
Important role players is, you know, Nick Breton, you know, with True Studios. That's like, it's my dog. That's like, you know, that's like a brother to me. My partner, Fresh Chuck, who, man, I've been making music with him for over 10 years, you know what I'm saying? We got beats and songs we did when Lil Bow Wow was hot, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not with him on it, I'm just saying, though, like, we've been making beats since then, you know? My boy Matthew Patroni with Patroni Films. My brother, you know, my brother Stedman, you know, a lot of people. I don't really want to name people because I don't want to leave nobody out. But yeah, I have a team. I got a team. My son, you know, Supreme.
What's it like being a father and navigating the music industry?
Man, being a father is like, let me know life is real, you know?
Right.
Like, wait a minute, okay, this is real, you know? All before not having a child, like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but having a son made me be like, yeah, life is real. I'm actually really on earth and here at this moment, at this time.
You know, to make a good project, you have to live more life. Do you feel like you've grown enough to take on what's to come as a result of making a new project? Is that why you made one?
I made a new one because it was sounding, it was there. There was a little brief moment where I was making some songs and I was like, this is not it. This is not it. I made another one. This is not it. This is not him on them songs, you know. And it took for me to get to this point to understand that and even be able to hear it like that instead of just be like, yeah, that's me on there. It's hot, right? Like, no, I was hearing it. I was like, that's me, but it's not hot. You know what I'm saying? That's not how I want to come off. And then all of a sudden one day, really what really did it is I had to really get away from a lot of things that had nothing to do with the studio and, you know, get away from a lot of things. And once I did that, then it started clicking in. Yeah, it did.
And you took that momentum and started developing the album. Like, what has that process been like?
It's been beautiful. I mean, it's been similar to my other process with the album. Just, you know, I'm always making tracks. Some of them I make, and I hear them like, this sounds like something for me. And then some of them I make, they sound like something for other people. And so the ones that I got on were the ones that I felt like, you know, this sounds like some Polyester the Saint, Real Deal P, the King of Pop, all of that.
So let's talk about mastery real quick.
Okay.
I mean, you're a person who understands the importance of these three words. It's dedication, consistency, and authenticity. Would you consider yourself a master at those three traits?
I would consider myself, I'm getting my master's in those traits. I'm still learning. I'm still, you know, I'm not fully where I want to be, but I'm headed there for sure.
But you're right, bro. I mean, you have like a very tunnel vision in terms of like the artist that you're becoming, the artist who you are, and you don't seem to be too worried about where you came from or too much where you're going. Like, you seem to be somebody who really resonates in the right now.
Well, I definitely worry about where I'm going. That's the reason why I worry about right now, because everything I do right now is what's gonna portray, you know, in the future. You know what I'm saying? But where I've been, I don't worry about it. But it also, I've realized that it's added to me. You know what I'm saying? All those years of doing what I've been doing, you know, I came in at a time where you could buy Pro Tools and an inbox and all that, but technology wasn't up to par as the way it is now. So it was like, I remember going to people's studios just to go there and sit there and not touch nothing and do no beats and just and watch them work. You know what I'm saying? And because I was able to do that, it added to me now, opposed to when I meet certain people now and they just think because they came to your studio and you got a beat on, it's like, let me get on this. You know what I'm saying? If I would have been like that 10 years ago around the people who were not Instagram famous or SoundCloud famous, the people who I was around who had hits, I would have quit a long time ago. They would have got me up out of there. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, because you've put in like 10 years already, you know? So much time in the lab, whether it's writing, producing, playing the keys, playing drums. For somebody like me looking at you, it's like, what else do you need to work on? How would you answer that question?
What else would I need? Honestly, with it, it was more so like some people might look at that time, and when I look at where I'm at now or what I've done now, it almost feels like the 10 years might in some ways be 10 minutes, because I never looked at it like a like a roller coaster ride I'm trying to get off. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still living it, and maybe it's like everything is about timing. You know what I'm saying? So maybe what I was doing 10 years ago, you know, preparing me for today's time, and preparing everybody else for what today's time is. You know what I'm saying? And preparing me to learn how to display what it is that I'm trying to come with. Because I always knew that I wanted people to come and listen or work with me for what it is that I do, specifically me. Like, you know, like I always associate that with food. You know, I always wanted people to come eat at my restaurant because I have this special sauce. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it takes time to develop that special sauce. You know, it's like I love wine. It takes time to make a fine wine. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fine wine.